while Munetsi, Bellegarde and Jørgen Strand Larsen play further forward for Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The game at Portman Road is just about to get underway. The players are just taking the knee and Peter Banks has now indicated for this match to get underway. And it's a huge, huge match for the home side, for Ipswich Town, for Kieran McKenna's Ipswich Town. They really do need to win this game to give themselves a fighting chance of staying in the league. It still seems like a tall order looking at where they are in the league, but if they are going to do it, they need to win the game today, not only because it's 3 points, but they're playing the one team that they can really catch in the league as well. So it's a big opportunity, and inside the first 30 seconds, the home side have won themselves a throw on the left-hand side. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Eirik Stangnes taking you through the action. Eirik, I'll get your thoughts in just a second. We'll just see this long throw from Kayuste into the Wolves penalty area. It is a long throw, looping into the penalty area. It's hooked away and back into midfield. But a lovely sunny day in Ipswich, and Ipswich do need to start in this game as well as possible.
Yeah, Ipswich, absolutely. If they're going to stay up, they have to win today. There's no a draw is not good enough because they're basically running out of games. 6 points is possible. Then there's hope for the Ipswich fans if they get back to 6 points and beat Wolves. But it's a tall order regardless. I think Wolves almost play with more pressure than Ipswich because Ipswich, I think, in their minds, they are down. They're preparing for Championship football.
Well, let's say it's been a strange old season for Ipswich. I think we were saying off air that they're probably of the three promoted teams, they've certainly made more of a fight of it. Southampton have been down pretty much since the first game in terms of how sort of negative they were playing in the personal and the sort of individual errors. Leicester seemed to start off quite positively, but then just nosedived very quickly, and the new manager bounce with Van Nistelrooy never happened at all, really. So Ipswich have always seemed the most likely. I mean, I always get annoyed when the pundits say at the start of the season that the three promoted teams are going to get relegated, but sadly over the last couple of seasons they've been right. Yeah, it
happens. I think the last 2 seasons it happened now, and it most likely will happen this season too. So yeah, it's a weird way of, I think promoted teams now, they prepare from Championship from day one. Their signings for Ipswich had been preparing for Championship. They want to stay up, but obviously they want to be competitive next season.
They do, and I say the money that you do get from being in the Premier League and the parachute payments, if you have got a well-balanced squad in terms of your finances, does give you a much better chance of coming back the season after. But the game is underway. Ipswich are certainly seeing more of the voices. Lovely work here down the left-hand side from Enciso, and then he finds Delap, who moves the ball over towards the right-hand side. Here is Ben Johnson, fires across in towards the penalty area. It takes a big deflection off Nuri, loops up in the air. Still half a chance here for Ipswich on the right-hand side. Played their square inside now towards Johnson. His ball into the box is just headed away towards the edge of the area, and this time Nelson Semedo doesn't hang about at all. He just fires a clearance straight down the middle and up towards the halfway line. This is one of many commentaries, and we've got our first goal as well in the 3 o'clock kickoff. Just to tell you, Palace, Brighton, West Ham and Bournemouth are the other 2 Premier League games on our service right now. At the earlier game it finished Everton 1, Arsenal 1, and still to come at 5:30 this evening it is going to be Aston Villa against Nottingham Forest. But that early goal, just to tell you about very quickly, is Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's had an excellent season for Palace, scoring against Brighton. And I'll bring Eirik in just a second, because here come Ipswich again down the left hand side. It's Delap on the overlap. He puts the ball into the penalty. It's only partially cleared, and before Bellegarde has to rush back into his own box and clear it. But Wolves, they haven't crossed the halfway line yet.
They haven't. It's a really good start from Ipswich, and they had that early chance from a great Enciso run, just like when they scored against Bournemouth, when they just ran towards it and delivered the ball to Johnson. He could have had a shot or a cross, and now it's Townsend on the left hand side. He puts a cross in, and it's a corner kick. Now it's another throw in on the right hand side from Kayuste. So a very positive start from the home side.
Yes, it's exactly what they need, not to give Wolves any time on the ball. So we know that Wolves can be dangerous once they get into possession, but it's Kayuste launching a long throw into the penalty area. Ipswich are winning that first header, but just not getting the second ball. Tuanzebe trying to recycle it, and in doing so he was robbed of the ball, and suddenly it's Wolves on the counter. They're certainly over the halfway line now. It's Bellegarde heading towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got 3 players up in support. He's trying to do it all himself. He runs into traffic, and then he's just quite easily dispossessed. It's actually a really sort of an easy win of possession there for Ipswich after they lost the ball in quite a dangerous position.
Yes, Tuanzebe just makes a meal of it, having the ball inside their own half, and just get his pocket picked by Bellegarde, but it just ran into traffic, and suddenly it didn't go for broke, and it go into the box himself, and he was way ahead of the rest of the Wolves team, so he had no support, and eventually just wandered off to the corner flag
Yeah.
and just lost possession.
He just, as I say, it wasn't even robbed of the ball. He just quite easily had the ball picked off him. But yeah, that was certainly a warning for Ipswich. It's all well and good having a good start and pushing players forward if you've got throw-ons and corners, but they need to actually make sure that they leave players back, because Wolves have got some very dangerous players on the counter-attack if Ipswich are to be dispossessed. Just to remind you, the team's going to have such a bright start. We didn't get a chance to cover a quick reminder. It's Palmer in goal for Ipswich with a back four of Tuanzebe, O'Shea, Burgess and Townsend. Morsey and Kayuste are the two holding midfielders, with Johnson, Broadhead and Ciso playing behind Delap. And for Wolves, it's Jose Sarr in goal, a back three of Doherty, Agbadou and Totti Gomez. The four across the middle are Nelson Semedo, João Gomez, Andre and Ait Nouri, with Munetsi, Bellegarde and Strand Larsen as the attacking three. And here come Wolves now with Ait Nouri towards the edge of the area. Here goes Bellegarde, he goes for goal. He's trying to pick out that top corner, sort of a curling, dipping effort with the left foot, but it's just over the bar.
That's a good chance and good attack from Wolves. A great run by Andre first, and then Ait Nouri's pull back to Bellegarde. Great turn, and then great space for himself. The shot from 18 yards out. Never really great connection with the ball, goes well wide, but best chance of the game so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's after a bright start from Ipswich, but now Wolves been attacking possession for the last 90 seconds, and they've actually created a couple of it's one decent chance there and one decent counter-attack, which ended up not being finished off after Bellegarde was robbed of the ball. But certainly it's Wolves responding now after that a very bright start from us. Just to remind you, in that earlier game it finished Everton 1, Arsenal 1, and Arsenal took the lead in that game through Trossard before an equaliser from Ndiaye right at the start of the second half. Arsenal took the lead in the first half, I should say, and despite having that pretty much most of the second half there to try and get that winner, they weren't able to do it. But just as I say that, there's a slip from Ait Nouri. There's a chance there for Johnson. He loses the ball a little bit too easily, but Ipswich still keep possession on the halfway line here, with Tuanzebe now going square to Morsey.
Yeah, Ipswich, Wolves have come back into it now, but Ipswich had a chance there on the counter out near his slip, but then there was like Johnson, almost like Bellegarde, just running into traffic with very little purpose on that run. But Ipswich got a ball now, and as I said, they need to win. I think Wolves take a draw all day long here. They keep 9 points clear of Ipswich. Ipswich, the next three games is Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle, and if Wolves look at that, then we're thinking, yeah, they're not going to take many points in those games, and very, very likely will be nil points for Ipswich in those three games.
And in Wolves' next four games, they've got Leicester City to come in towards the end of April, so they'll feel confident. They're at home to Tottenham, away to Manchester United, which the way those two teams are playing, you wouldn't rule out Wolves getting something from those two games either. So it's a decent run in for Wolves. They've done their hard work really, and whilst they've been doing it, the teams behind them just haven't been picking up the points. Yeah,
it's been quite incredible how the three relegated teams hardly taken any points in this year, basically, in Premier League. It was the first win for Ipswich in 2025 against Bournemouth. And Leicester, everything's going wrong at Leicester. Southampton, they've been gone so long time. They managed to get a point at Palace last time, which is a good point for them. But
they were in front in that game as well. They conceded quite late on in that, and it would have been very, very frustrating for them. But yeah, they say the way that they got rid of Russell Martin, and then they brought in Ivan Juric on a 6-month deal, so it's like they knew that there was a very good chance he wasn't going to be able to keep the side in the league. But 8 minutes on the clock, unofficial independent off Tube Studio commentary. It is goalless between Ipswich and Wolves. Just the one goal in the Premier League. It's Palace 1, Brighton 0, and in a whole host of 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Championship, not a single goal has been scored here, but a couple of big results already in the Championship earlier today. West Brom losing 1-0 at home to Sunderland, Coventry losing 2-1 at home to Burnley, and Luton drawing against Leeds. So for the second week in a row, Leeds drawing against sides lower down the league, and Sheffield United are currently away at Oxford. If they win that, they put themselves in a very strong position in first place. A lot of games to tell you about for tomorrow as well. 2 o'clock kickoffs: Brentford against Chelsea, Fulham against Liverpool, and Tottenham against Southampton, with Man U against Man City as the 4:30 kickoff, and then Leicester Newcastle is the game on Monday night. We see Vitor Pereira up in the stands. We're seeing a lot more of that this season, of course, with referees getting with managers getting these touchline bans a lot quicker now.
Yeah, there's been a fair few of them lately, and I think they just grab. When they get the bans, it's a chance for them to basically see the game from a bit higher up. It used to be a thing when the manager sits the first half.
Sam Allardyce used to do it, didn't he?
And then you're there. I think Mourinho sometimes was quite high up in the row 12, 13, above the dugouts, just watching the game. So yeah, obviously you can see better, but I think they got the technology to get that information.
Yes,
anyway.
absolutely. They can have somebody in the stands watching for them. They can obviously have 16 different camera angles on the iPads and things they've got in their dugout now as well. So, to say, it's something that a lot of managers still like to do occasionally. I mean, you see the national team managers, they're always sat high up in the stands watching all these games. I always wonder whether or not they'd be better off seeing some of it on TV. But I suppose you want to see the player actually moving around on the field, and that camera angle might not always focus on that. And
it's also the networking from the national manager.
Yes.
They go and speak to the players after the game rather.
Well, listen, if you said to me you can go VIP to Premier League stadiums every week, I wouldn't say no. But here come the Wolves now on the attack. Strand Larsen, it's a tight angle. He goes for goal at the near post, and it's a good save from Alex Palmer. Strand Larsen did have options there as well to try and play it square. He decides to try and surprise the keeper right by his near post, but in the end Palmer just about gets enough of his legs in the way to make the save.
Yes, a fantastic first touch by Strand Larsen, because he's actually marked when he gets the ball, but he just carries the ball to the edge of the 6-yard box. He tries to nutmeg the keeper on the front post. Great chance by Strand Larsen. He's got 10 goals this season. It's been a very good season for him. And a corner kick to Wolves. Aït-Nouri will take it.
It's going to be an in-swing up from the left-footed Ryan Aït-Nouri on this right-hand side. He puts a lot of height on that one, aimed at the back post. Totti Gomez with the header. It's a bouncing header which does get fingertips off Palmer, and it's away for another corner. He wasn't marked there, Gomez. I just wonder if he'd have managed to get a bullet header on that rather than bouncing it off the ground. That might have actually gone in. Doesn't make a good connection, does he?
It's headed straight into the ground. It probably would have gone over if Palmer hadn't fisted it over the bar. So, but yeah, it's a great chance, and Wolves obviously have by far the two best chances now in the match. Just probably three with that Bellegarde shot. So there's another corner from the left-hand side now.
A good start from Ipswich. It seems like a long time ago now, doesn't it? Now it's the home side that can't get away from their own penalty area. It's going to be an in-swinger from this left-hand side, right in the shade as well. Can't really see who the corner kick taker is with this camera angle we've got, but it's played towards the edge of the area, and it's a real powerful follow-up effort there from João Gomez, which is charged down. I mean, the ball fell perfectly for him, so the invitation was definitely there to shoot.
Yes, it's just standing outside the box and just waiting for the ball to come to him. And yes, it's a decent shot, but there are probably about 15 bodies from both teams in front of him and the goal. So
it was going to be very difficult, wasn't it, to get that on target. So we'll see this in-swinger now from Aït-Nouri. He's swinging in a little bit too much, actually, and the header beyond the far post, actually, on the left-hand side here from Andre, goes straight out for a goal kick.
Yeah, they didn't learn the lesson from the first throw-in, because 2 corners now from the left has gone out for over to everyone, and then to the far post, free header. That Andre should do better. He should have headed back into where he came from, into the danger zone. I think it could have well have been a goal for Wolves. Yeah, poor defending from Ipswich on those corners. Yeah,
but to get away with that on that occasion, they try and play out from the back, almost get caught in possession inside their own half before there is a foul there. It's a bit of a clumsy one there on Cayustes. It will be a free kick to Ipswich deep inside their own half. So no goals here at Portman Road. No goals either at the London Stadium between West Ham and Bournemouth. Just a 1 Premier League goal so far, and it was Palace taking the lead against Brighton. But here come Ipswich now down the left-hand side here with Connor Townsend. Just leaves the ball here for Cayuste, who tries a diagonal ball over towards the right-hand side. It's a really good ball, and it's really good control as well here from Tuanzebe. He gets to from Johnson, I should say. Gets to the edge of the area, puts a cross in, gets a big deflection, and although the keeper Jose Sarr comes out, it just always had a bit too much bounce on it after that deflection from Aït-Nouri. So now Ipswich have a corner.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic ball across to Johnson. Really good first touch. So you don't say he was more of a right back, but now he's playing instead of on the right hand side this game. So it's more offensive than normally. So.
I remember him at West Ham. He did like to get forward. I think there was always a problem because he had people like Bowen and somebody like that playing ahead of him on one of the wings. But he's certainly a player who does like to get forward, and so he's going to try and certainly show that in the game this afternoon. But it's going to be an in-swinger here from the right-hand side. Looks like it's going to be Townsend with the ball towards the back post. Both sets of players with their arms up saying it should be ours. Referee Peter Banks agreeing with the home side. So it's going to be a corner kick to Ipswich now from the left-hand side.
Yeah, quite similar corner kicks than to the Wolves corners, but unless like the Ipswich Town defence couldn't connect, and Wolves got bodies there, and they've got good, well defended. But it's another corner on the left hand side, so it's a goes both sets of team fans will think we have a chance to win this.
Absolutely, yes. It's been certainly the first 50 minutes will be encouraging for both sets of supporters. It's going to be they're going to carry on with Townsend. This time it's going to be an outswinger from his left foot, and he's aimed it quite low at the near post. Easily dealt with a header. Play back towards the edge there. Morsey back to Townsend. He wants some more angle for a cross. Can't find it. Plays it back to Sam Morse. He's going to try a deeper ball into the box. So that's a little bit too deep actually, but it's still kept in play here. Maybe unnecessarily by Totti Gomez. Kept alive, and Ipswich take advantage of that. It's now back towards Johnson. Swapping passes here in midfield with the Cayuste. Now down the right-hand side. Played in towards O'Shea. And it's a diagonal ball over towards the left-hand side here for Townsend. Needs some support. Nobody is getting closer to him. Plays it back into Morsey. It's now with Julio and Ciso. Ciso trying to take on two Wolves players. He does take on two Wolves players. He wants the ball back as well, and he gets it back. He's into the penalty area. It's not enough angle for a shot. Then it's going to be Townsend with the follow-up effort, which deflects. I think it deflects out for a corner. It's going to be a throw or a corner anyway, but nice little bit of link-up play there with Enciso.
Yeah, Enciso is so skillful, like a quick feet technique. They go forward there and they try to get a ball back into the box. Always brings it back to the goal, and eventually it's a shot from Townsend, or like a hopeful shot into the box, hoping for a deflection. It's out for a corner kick then for Ipswich.
Yeah, it's going to be an outswinger here. Connor Townsend's been taking all the corner kicks, puts a lot more height on this one, but maybe not as much direction. It's looping towards the edge of the 6-yard box for its easily headed clear way back into midfield, where Tuanzebe mops up here for Ipswich, puts the ball back into the box. It's headed across, and it's going to be in the back of the net. Ipswich Town take the lead on 16 minutes, and there's no prizes for guessing who gets on the end of it. It's Ipswich's sniper inside the 6-yard box. Liam Delap gives Ipswich the lead, and after a good start from Ipswich and a bit of a response from Wolves, it's now Ipswich to take the lead, but the visitors aren't happy about something.
No, I'm not sure what they're complaining about, but it's a great cross to the far side. I think it's Johnson who heads it back into the danger zone. Delap just stabs it in from about 6-7 yards out, and it's the 12th goal of the season, I believe. It's a fantastic return for a team that's hardly won many games so far. Looking at Dara O'Shea, is he offside before he heads it in?
Oh, I don't think O'Shea's offside. The question is maybe is Delap offside? We'll have to wait to see. There may be a bit of a delay in restarting here. The angles we're getting so far isn't showing us the entire line, so it's going to be hard for us to make a decision. It's a great diagonal ball to pick out O'Shea. It's a good header. I actually wonder, does O'Shea get the final touch on that? We'll see from this replay here. Just wondering whether... No, it is O'Shea, just that there's the sort of the sun and the shade. It was difficult to tell from one of the angles, but you can see the Ipswich bench. Kieran McKenna, just a nice, slow, sort of gentle celebration there, unlike the fans, but now we are going to get a VAR check, and it's difficult to tell from this angle.
Is it for a free kick against Dara O'Shea? It can't be. Or is it offside?
It's offside, yeah. They're checking for a possible offside.
Yeah,
so,
that's the wrong image we have then. Because the offside on... so it's not offside on...
O'Shea's not offside. It's whether or not Delap is offside when he moves for the ball. And, I mean, there are two Wolves players still going for it. And so we can see it's Sean Massey and looks like... I think it's Andy Madley, was the other referee there in the VAR studio. They're having a quick look at this one.
Look from the picture here, it doesn't look offside.
It doesn't look offside
from
at all.
From out, but
no.
Then it's.
But say we're getting a sort of TV company's angle. I think the VAR officials get a. I mean, I suppose they're getting the same pictures as us, but they're going to get it a much more, and they're obviously going to get the lines drawn as well. This is a better angle. From this angle, I can't see how anybody could be offside. I mean, the ball is clearly in front of everyone there. And, well, it's a difficult one. I don't want to... We've tried to predict what VAR are going to do before, and we always get it wrong.
Exactly. We haven't got the... It's a couple of leagues in Europe now, including the Norwegian league. They have basically, if it's not done within a minute, they stick with the on-field decision.
Yeah, he's onside, yes, confirmed.
But you and I, we could see that's almost like straight away. For me, that's a 5-second decision.
It should be, yeah. I think that there is often this kind of... I mean, it's been said in football quite a few times, not just with offsides, but with fouls and penalties and things. That if you have to look at it for 2 or 3 minutes, it's almost like you're looking for a reason not to give it, rather than just the natural reaction of it looks right, get on with it. But
so the 1 minute stay with on-field decision. I think that it's a good compromise in the VAR debate.
I think the problem with that is that you're always going to find that one example where they have got it wrong. So and there's always going to be a team or a set of fans who are going to feel very disappointed about that. So they have to try and keep it level. But no, I mean we've seen too many offsides, which takes 3 or 4 minutes. In fairness, that wasn't the longest. It probably still took longer than it needed to, but it was still fairly quick, I think.
Yeah, and looking at the picture, it looked so clearly onside. So how they were looking for
when they actually drew the line. It wasn't like the green line was next to the offside line, but they were still pretty close. So it's as I say, it still makes it. Like they did have to check it, but looking at the table live now, Ipswich's difference to Wolves has now been reduced to 6 points. But of course, it's still very early in this game, and there's still a lot more football to be played after today. But it gives Ipswich a chance, and it certainly gives these fans something to cheer about today. But here come Wolves trying to respond straight away. They're on the attack down the right-hand side. A cross coming in takes a big deflection here. It looks like it was a Burgess that got in the way of that cross as Bonetzi was coming in. So now Wolves have a corner.
Yes, a corner kick from there. It's the third one from the left-hand side, and the first two was free headers at the far post. First one, Totti on goal, really good chance, and the last one should have been headed into the danger, but it's just a poor header from Andre. But yeah, we'll see if Ipswich have learned a lesson from this one.
Absolutely, yes. Eirik Nouri, he's Wolves' left-footed set-piece specialist, and he whips this one. He puts a lot of pace on that as well, and there's nobody watching on the line. How has that not gone into the back of the net? I honestly thought that was going to be 1-1. It looked like Totti Gomez was pretty much heading that one in on the line, but somehow the ball is not in the net.
It's
amazing defending there. Goodness me!
I think it's Townsend on the line. He's just the line with his back to goal. And
is it Townsend or is it O'Shea? It's O'Shea, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair to say O'Shea knows nothing about it. He's just in the right place. But
it's positioning, but it's really poor defending. That's the third free header they had from the corner there.
It's going to be an in-swinger now on the right foot of Bellegarde, but it's too close to the goalkeeper this time. And Palmer pretty much just taking a couple of steps without even needing to jump is able to make that save quite comfortably. But that's rewarding for Ipswich. They have been a little bit slack on marking in this game so far in terms of set pieces.
Yeah, I think if you look at the expected goals, I think Wolves probably will be higher up than Ipswich. I'm looking at the stats in a second, but Ipswich go forward now with Morsey.
They do, a bit of space here now, and Cesar now just runs into a little bit of traffic. He did have Delap ahead of him, but he preferred to just try and take the ball on himself. Ended up being dispossessed, but now Wolves have it back here in midfield with João Gomez. He tries to switch play over, and that's a good ball as well. Eirik Nouri trying to head that on and to take it on the run. He does well, but so does Ben Johnson coming back to cover right by the edge of his own penalty area, and he puts that one out for a throw on to Wolves, level with the edge of the Ipswich penalty area. Just waiting to see. There's a second ball on the pitch now. And obviously with Ipswich 1-0 up, nobody's rushing to clear that ball. All of a sudden it's just taking a few seconds longer. Footballers like to think they're very ingenious, but a lot of the time they are actually quite predictable. As here comes Eirik Nouri now down the left-hand side. He wanted a free kick, I think, afterwards. He was initially stopped, and I think the referee has actually given him a free kick there as well. I think the decision was that Johnson just stopped him going after the ball. Yeah,
it looks like almost like a bit of a collision. It goes past. I think it might be a free
kick. It's the arms out, isn't it?
It's arms out, but he goes to ground very late. He didn't need to go to ground. I think it is a foul. So
it is, decision. Yeah. It's one of those where Eirik Nouri could chase the ball, but he goes, hang on, there's arms on me. If I fall, the referee's going to give me a free kick, and that's exactly what's happened. So it's not a dive, it's not a simulation, it's just sort of using the environment around you, I suppose, would be one diplomatic way of saying it. But Ipswich have got some defending to do here, and it's right-footed Bellegarde and left-footed Eirik Nouri standing over this one for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Referee Peter Manx just doing a bit of housekeeping inside the penalty area, telling everyone not to push and shove each other. They're going to agree with him before doing exactly the same thing straight away. But here comes the ball from Bellegarde. It's trying to be a sneaky little one at the near post. He was looking for a flick on there at the near post as well. I think it was Totti Gomez who was closest to it, but it just sails into the side netting. We're actually over the halfway mark in this first half. 23 minutes gone at Portman Road. It's Ipswich 1, Wolves 0, and it will be Eirik to take us through to half-time.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, it's been a decent watch so far. Wolves very dangerous on set pieces so far. And one cleared off the line from Dara O'Shea, and a header from close, about 2-3 yards out from Totti Gomez. And Wolves maybe a bit unlucky that they're losing this game, but Wolves now on the ball with Agbado on the left-hand side. He finds Eirik Nouri, who tries to go along the line, and then he just runs into Ben Johnson. It's a bit of like a duel, that defensive work from Johnson against Eirik Nouri. we know Eirik is just so good going forward and is so creative for this Wolves side. Obviously, Wolves are missing Cunha today, and he's obviously by far the best player going forward. I think this is the last of his four-game ban.
Yeah,
today.
it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one with Cunha. He sort of made a few comments in the media recently about how he may have to move on to another club. I think there was always a chance he was going to do that. Wolves, although he signed a new deal this season, I think that was just to give the club more security in terms of his transfer value.
I think when you sign a deal, Cunha would never sign a deal without a buyout clause.
Yes, I mean,
there will be 50 million. Then
he signed a 4-year deal at Wolves, knowing that he has no intention of being here for 4 years.
No, but I think Cunha can play for any club. It's just such a good player. But now it's player down for Wolves. And it's Tuanzebe. It was a bit of a naughty elbow.
I thought there was a bit of a swing there. That's certainly what Strand Larsen was suggesting. Strand Larsen's a big fella. He's not going to hit the deck for absolutely no reason. But Peter Banks certainly taking more of the schoolmaster's approach at this stage, just telling Tuanzebe to take it easy. I mean, obviously, they're two big players. They're always going to be fighting for position. We've not actually seen a replay of the collision itself. Now we will. It's difficult to see there. Tuanzebe. If anything, you could say that Tuanzebe's watching where the ball is, and Strand Larsen always runs into the back of him.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything from VAR. It's maybe a bit of an elbow, maybe a high arm in the shoulder area, maybe the side of the face, but nothing given by the referee. But now it's Cayusta and Ipswich Town who got a ball now on the left-hand side. It's Enciso on the ball. Very skillful player, Enciso. Been out injured. It's not been the best loan move due to the injury. He's played well when he has been in the team. But now Ipswich try to play out back, but good press from Wolves, and Ipswich just gave the ball away. So it's a throw-in on the halfway line to Wolves. Wolves just played back to their own centre halves. Now it's Totti Gomez on the ball. And he lofts it long forward up towards Bellegarde and Eirik. Ball is cleared away, old school there by Cameron Burgess. Just hoofs it up onto the stand. And 26 minutes gone in this game. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0. You're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio Commentary. And Wolves now with a throw-in on the left-hand side. Eirik will take this throw-in. About 20 yards from the corner flag. Takes a while for him to actually throw the ball. And don't seem much in a rush there, Wolverhampton, who get the ball back there with Eirik. Plays it back to Gomez, Totti Gomez rather. And he finds Agbadou just outside his own centre circle. But a long ball forward towards Jørgen Strand Larsen. Goes all the way into Alex Palmer, who's definitely been a good signing for Ipswich Town. The goalkeeper's problem for Ipswich before he signed been well documented. Lots of points-losing mistakes by both Muric and the other keeper. I just can't remember him now. So that's weird, but it's we'll get back to that. And now ball goes forward to the goalkeeper, Alex Palmer again.
Walton?
Yeah, it's of course Christian Walton. So
he was that bad you forgot him. But no, I mean, to get back to the point about the goalkeepers, it's very difficult. Once you have a regular set keeper who starts to make regular mistakes, then that puts pressure on him, and then it's pressure on the manager when you change him, and then when you change him, the new keeper has to do better. Otherwise, there's pressure on changing him back again. So ideally, you just want to have one consistent keeper throughout the season. But as we've seen, even at the top clubs, even goalkeepers like Edison and Allison can have bad periods as well. And
we've seen it at Leeds United now. They've had a problem goalkeeper, Melia, doing mistakes, and today he was on the bench for the first time. So it took a long time.
Well, it did. I mean, I suppose if you're mentioning Leeds, I mean, is Carl Darlow a better goalkeeper than Meslier? I don't think he is, but if Meslier is making mistake after mistake, then it's almost important to take him out of the firing line. But in the meantime, there was a long ball played up to Delap. He was pushed off the ball as he was trying to jump for it. So now Ipswich have a free kick in a decent position. It's going to be Townsend to try and play this one into the box. Yeah, it's about 40 yards from goal, so it's a good crossing position. Quite central, slightly to the left of centre, and the ball is flown in towards the far post. It's headed towards the goal again by O'Shea. O'Shea gets another chance with a shot straight at the first defender, out for a throw in to actually went all the way out. Yeah, he didn't get a deflection, but the Ipswich, the referee is staying to wait because the Ipswich appealed for a handball with that first ball that O'Shea headed down. There was a suggestion that there might have been an arm from an Ipswich player. It's very hard to tell from the angle that we've just seen, but they're suggesting that maybe Totti Gomez is he's turning his body, isn't he?
It's the arm is around down his side, so it's never a penalty. But I think the players, they're always going to appeal for it.
Of course, yeah.
But now it's a chance for Morsey, but a shot from distance, just straight at the goalkeeper. Took a bit of a deflection, fell nicely to him, captain of Ipswich Town. But easy save. It wasn't even. I think you and I would have saved that one eventually.
You haven't seen me play the goal.
I took a risk there. Yes. Basically, we might have given a rebound.
Yes, absolutely. We would have got our bodies in the way of it.
We would have stopped it. But it was quite a pacey shot. But it was from 30 yards and it was straight at the goalkeeper, and no problem for Jose Sa. But now it's throw-in to Wolves on the left-back position. There's a bit of stop in play now. Not 100% sure why that's the case, but referees now giving the green light to Eirik to take this throw-in. Half an hour on the clock. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0. So short throw-in to from Eirik, one back by Ipswich, and then back to Wolves' position. Another cross going forward, another throw-in on the left-hand side. A bit scrappy, and Ipswich just closing the room and the space for Wolves for a short throw-in.
No, it's been a good from Ipswich since they've scored. There have been a few moments for Wolves, but really that period when Wolves were at their strongest was when it was still 0-0. Since Ipswich have scored, it has been that little bit more difficult. And here come the home side again. Yeah,
Broader with the ball out towards Delap. It's a poor ball that just hits the heels of Delap. And now it's a chance for Bellegarde on the counter for Wolverhampton. Ball over the top. It's not the best ball. And Munetsi can't reach it. Goes all the way into Alex Palmer in the Ipswich Town goal. Doesn't look like Wolves they're not that desperate to sort of press, and Alex Palmer, they probably had the ball for about 20 seconds. They haven't got the urgency yet. Maybe it's too soon for them. They think they could just play a normal game and probably get the points that way. But sooner or later they need to start
they do, because I mean, although Ipswich haven't had sort of clear-cut chances, they have had a lot of attacking possession since they scored. And now a foul from Bellegarde on Morsey, which has been taken quickly and straight away, and Cesar trying to get on the attack. He gets bundled off the ball by João Gomes, but no foul this time.
Yes, a good tackle from Gomes, and now it's a chance on the counter-attack for Gomes on the right-hand side. It's a sliding tackle from Enciso. Enciso just celebrates with the crowd.
I must say, I'm not the youngest anymore, but I mean, maybe I'm showing my age, but I don't like this new trend that outfield players, goalkeepers, defenders celebrate challenges like they've scored a winning goal. No. I understand it in the 95th minute.
Exactly.
But in the 32nd minute, you just slid in and put the ball out for a throw 30 yards out from your own goal. There's no reason to celebrate like you've scored a winning goal. That's a bit too much.
Yeah, to celebrate is also maybe to get the crowd going.
Yeah, there's a bit of that, but you can do that without all that. Yeah, I mean, as I say, I don't want to make too big a deal of it, because you do want players to interact with the fans. Far too many players don't do that, really, unless they're just trying to keep them quiet when they've scored an away goal or something. But celebrating a challenge when it's the 32nd minute, I think, is a little bit too much.
Yeah, and I think if it's a League 2 team against Man City or something, it's different. Yes, they do.
But then there would almost be an ironic cheer every time they pass the ball and don't let Man City have the ball off them. You know, there's going to be a lot more fun in the stands because of that. But no, I mean, Enciso has had a good start to this game. As you mentioned, if he wasn't injured so much this season, he could have been a really big addition to Ipswich as well.
Yeah, and because he came in the January window, and then he was injured for about 5-6 games. But it's a really creative player, and I think Brighton are looking at maybe to keep him next season. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a strange one for Brighton, because of course they've let Ferguson go to West Ham, and he's not had much of a chance there either, has he?
So that's the
Strand Larsen just getting a bit of a telling off there from the referee. I think he was unhappy that Burgess was holding on to him. He didn't get a free kick, and I think Peter Bank was just saying, look, just remember who the referee is, because I think he was probably giving the referee any more. He probably could have got a yellow card there as well.
I think one of those there might have been a yellow card early in the season when we had that rule of any show spontaneous reaction was a yellow card, but they soon
the referee realised we haven't got enough space in our notepads for that, so we're going to have to change that slightly.
Yeah. Well, it's 33 minutes on the clock. It's a bit scrappy at the moment. Ipswich there with Johnson had a good run on the right-hand side, just ran the ball out of place. And now Bellegarde in the middle of the park, well shielded, and he probably was fouled. No, it wasn't, and it's a throw in to Ipswich Town instead. Tuan Saber takes it short into Morsey. Morsey just lofts it up towards the corner flag, easily dealt with by Gomez. Totti Gomez just with a long ball up the field, and it's Strand Larsen just sticks out a foot. He just bounces the ball. The ball bounces off and out for a throw in. He didn't agree with that. Then Strand Larsen. It started with the reaction and then it stopped straight away. Just I've just been told off, so I better not talk myself into the book. So it's a throw into Ipswich with Tuan Saber on the right hand side. One back now by João Gomes in the middle of the park. Strand Larsen with a nice back hit, and then it's Munetzi who tries to play it back to Strand Larsen, but he was fouled. So it's a bit scrappy at the moment. There's a lot of duels in the middle.
It is. I think from Ipswich's point of view, they probably prefer it to be scrappier, because I think it just means that the technical players that Wolves have can't really get into the game. But now here comes Ipswich with Broadhead. He was surrounded by Wolves players. In the end, he couldn't quite do the job himself. But there's certainly a fight about Ipswich, which we saw since the first minute. But now that they've scored, it's almost like they've got something to fight for now, haven't they?
Absolutely, and they're playing almost like, I think they're playing with not so much pressure. It seems to be like they're just going to have fun now the rest of the season.
Well, I think Kieran McKenna would have said to them that that they've tried hard this season, but perhaps just a little bit lacking in some of the games. But at the same time, they have played some good football at times. They've had some impressive results, albeit obviously not enough of them. But if they can just take the pressure off and then play a couple of good games, then it just means that they give themselves that bit more of a chance. And as you say, if they're thinking about next season, then a sort of a good vibe in the squad is very important as well.
Yeah, it's being competitive in the Premier League, and I've heard a couple of pundits said that Ipswich go down and win. Oh, it's a goal! Oh, it's Palmer with a terrible mistake. It's almost an own goal.
Goodness me! Well, we were just getting into a conversation. The ball was played back towards the goalkeeper. What has the referee given here? Is this going to be has he given him it's going to be a indirect free kick, I think. Well, let's have a look here.
It's a back pass.
It's a back pass played back to Palmer. Palmer miscontrols it. Well, he should be sent off for that, really. He's deliberately stopped the ball from going in after he's touched the ball on a back pass. That really should be he's stopping a goal. I mean, I remember this from years ago, doing an FA Cup game between Chelsea and Brentford, where Chelsea's sub-keeper did something very similar, where he deliberately grabbed the ball after touching it after a back pass. I wonder if VAR are going to get involved with this, because Palmer has deliberately stopped the ball, knowing that he's going to give away a free kick.
I'm not 100% sure about the rules. I think it's a yellow card, a letter of the law, and I'm not sure if it matters if he stops the goal.
I'm certainly not saying it's a guaranteed
no,
red.
But obviously he stops the ball. It's a terrible mistake.
It is.
It rolls under his foot. He can't control it from 3 yards out, and it could well be a red card if stopping a clear goal scoring opportunity. You can't get closer to that.
That's, as I say, considering that players sometimes get sent off for tackling someone 20 yards out, stopping a goal. Here, the goalkeeper lets the ball go under his foot, and then as it's going in, I mean, I suppose from his point of view, I mean, the goal line technology can confirm it hasn't gone over the line, but
what a mistake!
It's a difficult one. I suppose that
he will be able to carry on. I think the better stopping the goal, it's not applicable. That is the rule. I think I remember it was said about the back pass if you pick up the ball, but it is.
I suppose it depends, because if you pick up a back pass just because you've forgotten that it's a back pass, that's one thing. But there, he knows what he's doing. He's miscontrolled the ball with his foot, and he's illegally stopping it with his hand because he knows it's going to be a goal. Otherwise, I mean, it could still be a goal. Anyway, Wolves have got a free kick on the edge of the 6-yard box, which it's a collector's item. We don't see many of these days. But I actually had the opportunity to commentate on one of these in the Chelsea Villa game earlier this season, so I've seen 2 of these, having not seen one for about 5 years. But great opportunity this now for Wolves. The question is, who's going to actually pull the trigger? Yeah, no,
basically all the Ipswich players on the line, they will go forward and try to just any stops. So if that ball is hit at the roof of the net, it will go in anyway. But it looks like Eitan Nouri. Let's have a look who's by the ball. Agbadu is there. It's 6 yards out, and a yellow card is given to Alex Palmer, I think, eventually by the referee. So drama here at Portman Road. Let's have a look, and then there's a shot, and it's straight at the first defender, out for a corner kick. It's so difficult to get that ball into the net, because there's 11 players
Well, there's
trying
11 players,
to block the ball.
and you can't say get back 10 because they can't get back 10. There's not even 10 yards left on the pitch. But I mean, in the end, when he's putting his foot through that, Menezzi, I mean, there's a player literally falling onto him.
Well, Morse is
pretty much falling onto him.
He's basically stopping. So well defended, and it's a corner kick now for Wolves, and it's headed out by Ipswich Town defence. What drama, and what a mistake.
Yeah, terrible from Palmer. Yeah, I mean, he's got a yellow card. Just to say very well, very quickly from another game, in the game at the London. I'll interrupt myself because Ipswich are making a right mess of this inside their own box. 2 players getting in each other's way when it was the easiest clearance.
Yes, they are struggling in defence. Another cross now for Wolves to go well wide. I think out for another corner. No, it's actually for a goal kick this time. But Ipswich are really, they are making life difficult for themselves. But that mistake from Palmer, we do see it on people on the halfway line when you stand there and the ball just rolls under the foot. That's exactly what happened.
It does, yeah. I mean, he's not the first or last footballer, and without being disrespectful to Alex Palmer, there have been bigger and better players than him who've done things like that. But it just looks so bad because there's so little pace on that ball as well.
And it's right in front of the goal, and it tries to put its studs on the ball, and instead of putting the side of side.
Yeah.
And that is. So
maybe a little bit too casual, a little bit too casual. But just to say that there is a goal at the London Stadium. It's West Ham 0, Bournemouth 1. They are now checking it for an offside review. So there was a goal from Evan Nilsson. He's the one who scored for Bournemouth, but they are now checking with offside. So it may well be that goal is chalked off. Yeah,
Bournemouth team that were pushing for Europe, and they need a really good run of form now to get that dream sorted, because I think there's 6-7 games now without a win in the league. Bournemouth running out of legs, and no new signings in January. I think that's what the Bournemouth fans were complaining about after they lost to Ipswich midweek. But Ipswich Town, they're struggling a bit now. Wolves are the better side at the moment. But now the ball up to Enciso. Enciso can run against the defence. He finds Delap on the left-hand side. This is a chance for Ipswich. Delap is waiting for Townsend on the overlap. It runs into traffic in the end. But yes, Enciso, he's the man. When he gets the ball, he's so creative. And the Wolves player, they don't tend to go near him as much. So he basically dictating the midfield when he gets the ball, and he get a bit of grass in front of it.
Yeah, I mean, he's a very, very difficult. That's why you've got to try and make sure that you can stop him getting that sort of space and that sort of freedom, because as soon as he's got it, it is very difficult to then keep him under control. As Ipswich are now sent all the way back towards their own penalty. This time, though, Palmer does control it. And
Palmer is 7 yards out from the goal line, so even a mistake wouldn't have... Then they give the ball away. Townsend give the ball away, and Wolves can come forward into the area. Player goes to Semedo down to the ground, doesn't get a free kick. Now it's the chance. It's another chance for Strand Larsen. Been back and forward. Delap loses possession. Quick ball up towards Strand Larsen. So Ipswich, they've lost the rhythm.
They have. The last 5 minutes or so, Ipswich have been able to get out of their own half. It's been a real struggle for them in the last few minutes as Wolves are starting to turn the pressure. This back heel from Semedo. And then there was an appeal for a free kick. Bellegarde there. Bellegarde essentially has Connor Townsend next to him and then falls over. There's no foul for me there.
Yeah, but Wolves, as you said, Paul, they are pushing on now before half-time. It's 42 minutes on the clock. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0. But Wolves, you could say they're pretty unlucky not to be at least level. Now Gomez for Wolves. It finds Totti inside his own half. And now into Abdoglu. And... back towards Totti. It's an established attacking play now from Wolves. Ball into the middle again now for Agbadu, and now out on the right-hand side. Semedo goes along the line, tries to put a cross into the area. It's cleared away by O'Shea. One back in the midfield area by Morsi. And then Cayuste wins the ball in the next phase of play. But foul against Cayuste in midfield area against Andre, and it's still Ipswich 1, Wolves 0. 42.5 minutes on the clock. And Wolves now with Agbado. Plays it nicely in the midfield area towards Andre. He finds Munetsi on the right-hand side. Plays it down the line towards Semedo, down by the corner flag. 3-4 players are waiting in the middle for a cross now for Wolves, and the cross comes in. The left foot to the far post, straight in the hands of Alex Palmer, who's now just taking a bit of a rest. Lies on top of the ball. Ipswich basically now just want to get to half-time with 1-0. And
They do.
And that you could see Alex Palmer's reaction. I'm not going to rush this. I'm just going to do the time
Well,
wasting.
he'll think to himself that if he's made that lapse of concentration, and Kieran McKenna will be hoping the same thing, that if he's made that lapse of concentration once in this match, he has no right to do it again, really. So from that point of view, he's going to have to concentrate, have to be that little bit more focused on what happens now in the next few minutes of this first half and in the second half. He's had a big warning, a big let-off. Let's not forget that Wolves had 3 headers from corner kicks with nobody marking early on in this game as well. So Ipswich have ridden their luck in defence a little bit today.
Yeah, it's those 3-4 corners. Wanderers bounced in the 6-yard box. No one attacked it. And then I think it's Totti Gomez with 2 efforts. Andrew had one header from the back post. So they have been close to a goal. So they're on the 0.97 expected goal. The Wolves, Ipswich 0.85. So a bit of that would be the goal, of course. So I would add Wolves maybe slightly higher than 0.97, but Wolves now concede a free kick in the midfield there. It's Bellegarde who runs into Enciso. So it's Ipswich Town with a welcome breaking play in the middle of the park. So might be a chance to put the ball long up towards the penalty area, but they play it back now to O'Shea. You find Tuan Saber, the right back position, just crossing the halfway line. I find Morsey. Now Cayuste plays the ball into Cameron Burgess. So just a half a minute away from the 45-minute mark. Ipswich with a bit of a possession now on the right-hand side. It's Tuan Saber, just rolls it into Morsey. Morsey finds Cayuste, just flicks the ball forward. It's good press from Wolves, easily win possession. Now it's ball on the left-hand side, long ball up towards John Larson, just chesting the ball down, hoping for a Wolves player to connect, but slightly off target for that chest down, and Ipswich clears, and Ipswich wants a free kick at a halfway line, and like the lap is just inviting. He just stands there and just waiting for the free kick to be won. Basically, it's a soft one.
He's getting into a little bit of a thing here with Agbadou as well. I think he wasn't happy with Agbadou, just a bit of a shoulder there into the back. And I think Delap said something back to Agbadou, and I think with the two of them, 2 big fellas, and they're going to have a little bit of a round 2 maybe in the second half. But we're into 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half.
And then long ball up now for Ipswich. Broaden hardly been in the game, with a touch it's cleared away by Agbadou. I was about
to say that actually, that for the really good game and the important goal he scored for Ipswich in their last match at Bournemouth, he's been very quiet this afternoon. Broadhead.
It's hardly been in the game. And so you've seen the lap. Johnson and Townsend have all been involved, but not so much with Broaden. He's playing in the central role, so he's had a really good game against Bournemouth. Scored a fantastic goal. But yeah, so it's obviously Ipswich. They are missing Hutchinson. He would have played instead of Johnson on the right hand side if he would have been fit. But now Ipswich win a free kick again in midfield. Ipswich just playing out time now to just get to half time with a 1-0 lead. Broader this time gets a free kick on the halfway line. So looks like it will be a lead for the home side at half time, but it's not been an impressive performance from the home side. It's not really been a bad performance, but Wolves, it's been a weird game. I think Wolves probably would think they should be at least drawing this game, and I'm sure that Wolves, we were saying why wasn't that a red card for Palmer, but I think the rules say the rule says yellow.
I think it's a difficult one because obviously it's rare that you would expect that someone gets sent off for a back pass, but it's just the way in which it happened. I suppose it is always going to have that question mark over it. But yeah, when you consider that Wolves made having survived the first few minutes of Ipswich, Wolves made a very good response. They've had 3 corners with unmarked headers. They've had a couple of efforts charged down. There was a question mark over the Ipswich goal in terms of offside, and there's the back pass as well. So Wolves would argue that they're more than value for at least an equaliser, but they're on the attack now here with Strand Larsen.
They may well get an equaliser, but there's a cross in from the right-hand side into the far post. Headed straight up in the air by Tuan Saber, and Alex Palmer, after that mistake, have been spotless. He's collected a few balls in the box, and so he hasn't got the nerves that you may think you can get.
He's done well there because he needed to make sure that he held on to that one. He does hold on to that one, and now he's trying to eke out as many seconds as he can. The 8-second rule hasn't been brought in yet, so he can get away with it for now.
It's almost like it's 90 minutes Ipswich are playing for now. It's like the end of the game. Ipswich are winning 1-0, so now it's a long, traditional goal kick from Palmer, headed forward by Agbadou. Then it's Munetsi, heads it down in the middle of the park towards Andre. Jürgen Strand Larsen with a touch across the pitch. There's a duel there, won by Townsend, but the referee has blown for half-time, so it is half-time at Portman Road. Ipswich 1, Wolves 0.